What's up, everybody, and welcome back to part 5 of my Marcia Clark book review. Without a doubt, her New York Times #1 bestseller on her experiences in the O.J. Simpson case. Now, something really cool happened over the weekend. She actually reposted me on her Instagram. I'll throw it up here on the screen. When I got that notification, I was pretty excited. So thank you, Marcia Clark, for the support. Thank you for the repost. I truly appreciate it, and it completely caught me by surprise. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. And if you're checking out these videos, hi. I absolutely love the book. It's brilliant. Thank you so much. We're going to start out part 5 talking about the people that discovered the body. Marcia Clark talks about how they returned to their home at 11:40 p.m., about 600 feet from the crime scene. They discovered a dog sitting with their neighbor. That dog would turn out to be Nicole Brown Simpson's dog. They noticed blood on the paws, and then at around midnight, they decided to take the dog out to see if they could find the owner, and the dog headed back home. That's when the bodies of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were discovered. Marcia Clark states that the dog had a better handle on the time frame of the murders than the coroner did, because he kind of botched the coroner's report with the time of death. Just imagine that poor dog, what that poor dog must have seen and heard. That dog was just trying to go out and get help for his owner. Just trying to go out and find somebody to bring back to the scene to show them, to see maybe they could help. How smart are dogs to know to go get help like that? It's so sad what that dog must have seen. I'm a huge animal guy, and that breaks my heart. Marcia Clark states that her first meeting with the criminalist Dennis Fung was on June 20th. Marcia Clark talks about how the LAPD crime lab had just started doing DNA testing, and none of its technicians were well experienced in the process. Now, DNA had been around for not very long, so it was still fairly new to a lot of police agencies. This was one of the first cases in the mainstream media where DNA was talked about as much as it was. Marcia Clark states her first meeting with Dennis Fung and the person that did the testing in the lab went really well. All of the reports were very consistent. All of the blood drops on the trail at Bundy matched O.J. Simpson's genetic markers, and only his genetic markers. Marcia Clark states they had to send the blood samples from the glove away to Cellmark for testing to try and prove O.J. Simpson's blood was also on the glove. They had already found that Nicole Brown Simpson's blood and Ronald Goldman's blood was on the glove, so now they were trying to prove that OJ's blood was on the glove as well. Marcia Clark states the shoe prints at the Bundy crime scene were from a size 12 men's shoe. Marcia Clark talks about how when she had Dennis Fung on the stand at the grand jury, he stated he hadn't been in the shoe analysis unit for about 3 years and was rusty, so he couldn't really answer the questions on the shoe prints, which baffled Marcia Clark. If he was this ill-prepared or ill-experienced or didn't have enough experience in this, what was he doing at the crime scene at all? Marcia Clark asked him if that means he was disqualifying himself in regards to those questions. He said yes, and Marcia Clark was obviously shocked, but she had no other choice but to continue questioning him, but having no idea what was going to come out of Dennis Fung's mouth next. He did not test everything like he was supposed to. He did not get samples from everything he should have. He just basically did not do a good job. You would think they would have sent the best of the best to O.J. Simpson crime scene to the crime scene of the murders that they suspected at the time O.J. Simpson did. Like, how did they not know this case was going to blow up and be the absolute biggest thing going on in the world at the time? O.J. Simpson was and still is really, a mega star. But at that time, he was the top of the top. He was the cream of the crop. He was a massive, massive star. They had to have known the type of media this was going to pick up. So you would think that the absolute best the LAPD had would have been sent to both crime scenes. But nope. Marcia Clark states that Dennis Fung was an effing disaster. And I couldn't agree more. There's a YouTube channel that has the entire trial online in real time. I've watched it. I'm watching it again. It'd take you years to watch it because there's no way you can sit down and watch it. All of it. It's so good. Dennis Fung was on the stand for like 8 or 9 days or something, and it was brutal listening to him talk for that long. Marcia Clark states that both Fung and his assistant Andrea Mazzola should have been supervised as they went over the crime scene. Both Tom Lang and Philip Van Natter should have been there. They should have returned to the scene to oversee their search. Marcia Clark states that the LAPD dragged their feet in getting her a copy of the interview O.J. Simpson did with the police when they took him down to the police station, Parker Center, I believe. Marcia Clark states that O.J. Simpson was at the police station for about 3 hours, but the taped interview was only 32 minutes long. She wonders what else was going on during that time. Marcia Clark states that anyone can see how O.J. lied to Tom and Phil during this interview. She states O.J.'s claim of being invited to the Brown family dinner after the dance recital, O.J. and Nicole's daughter's dance recital, was later denied by Nicole Brown Simpson's mother. Marcia Clark talks about how O.J. was all over the place with the time that he stated he parked the Bronco. Could have been 7, could have been 8, could have been 9, around one of those times. You got to get him to narrow that time frame down. But he was clearly doing what he wanted, leading the detectives. Clearly, probably, maybe, allegedly starstruck with O.J. Simpson. Who knows? Marcia Clark talks about how the interview was one of the worst pieces of police work she had ever seen. And that interview is brutal. They did absolutely nothing to... O.J. Simpson said a lot of stuff, and they followed up on none of it with follow-up questions in that interview. Just crazy. She talks about specific questions in the book, but that's where we're going to go. That's where I'm going to leave part 5 of my book review. Pick it up. Amazon, bookstores, anywhere you can find it. Such a good read. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks again, Marcia Clark, for the repost. I truly appreciate it. Leave some comments below of what you think of the case up until this point. Let me know. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon.